Hello everyone, my name is Billy and I like Marvel a lot. So much so that I've been staying up every single Thursday night till 1 in the morning just so I can see the new episode of WandaVision as soon as it drops. Which I know is not nearly as crazy as people on the East Coast who stay up till 3 in the morning to watch it. I have mad respect for you. I think what I like about most with WandaVision coming out every week instead of all at once like shows on Netflix and stuff is that it keeps the conversation ongoing. And it creates such a huge breeding ground for theory crafting, which is something I completely love about this show. There are so many out there theories that make you think there's no way they're going to do that. But then on top of that, there are so many theories that are so plausible that it makes you think, well, now I can't see them doing anything besides this. And that's what I want to talk about today. Theories. Because the day I'm posting this is the last day before the season finale of WandaVision. Which means this is my last chance to make some big predictions. Starting off with prediction number 1. I believe that White Vision is going to be Ultron. Kind of disclaimer getting this out of the way right now. Not all of these theories are 100% mine. These are some of the theories that I've really enjoyed seeing on places like TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. And I'm trying to put my own twist on it. I'm trying to throw my own 2 cents into the theory to try and add on to it. So anyway, White Vision is Ultron. What do we know about White Vision? We know that Hayward has been holding on to Vision's corpse for who knows how long. He's had at most 5 years to take it apart, put it back together, trying to bring it online. But what happens when he finally brings it back online? All of the main components that went into bringing Vision to life in the first place were Ultron, Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, the Mind Stone, Thor's lightning, and Jarvis. And I don't think Hayward has most of those things. He definitely doesn't have the Mind Stone. That was kind of destroyed, like 5 years ago. Tony Stark definitely didn't help him build this. And neither did Bruce Banner. Thor is off being an Asgardian of the Galaxy at this time, so he did not lend his lightning to this project. So that leaves Ultron and Jarvis. Now, because Ultron and Jarvis are more or less software kind of uploaded into the mainframe, which is Vision's body, it's safe to assume that both of those components are still in his body. Which again begs the question, what happens when you bring him back online? Is Ultron able to take over when there's not enough components to suppress him? That's what I think is going to happen. It would not surprise me if when White Vision starts talking in the finale, you hear James Spader's voice. Okay, side note, yes, I know that James Spader is on the Google Cast list for WandaVision, but the thing is, the Google Cast list is not always the most accurate. You see, the Google Cast list actually is heavily influenced by search trends, which means when enough people are searching up WandaVision, Ultron, it puts Ultron on the cast list because it makes Google think that Ultron is going to be in WandaVision. That's the same thing that happened with Evan Peters. And yes, I know Evan Peters did wind up showing up in WandaVision, but that wasn't because anybody from Marvel told somebody from Google to put him in there. It was because of the Google search trends, which happened because of the rumors that started circling around of Evan Peters being in WandaVision because of some kind of leak or some kind of tabloid thing, which made people think that he was going to show up, which did turn out to be right. So yes, the rumors can be true, but they're not always true. So if James Spader shows up, then yes, the rumors were true, but Google did not confirm it. Think about it like this. Marvel wants to keep stuff like that as big of a secret for as long as possible. So why would it make sense for them to just let Google put them on the cast list if they're not supposed to know that they're supposed to be in the show? If they're not on IMDb, they're not confirmed. And yes, that also goes for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being in the cast list for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I just want to continue with that side tangent real quick because this is something that's been bothering me on TikTok because people try and use that as confirmation that Spider-Verse is happening in the MCU. Which I'm not saying is not going to happen, I'm just saying that it's not confirmed to happen. The only reason that the 2 Spider-Men have been showing up in the cast list for Doctor Strange 2 and not for Spider-Man 3 is because for the longest time we didn't actually have Spider-Man 3's official title. So on Google it was actually listed under Untitled Spider-Man Far From Home Sequel. And nobody was searching Untitled Spider-Man Far From Home Sequel, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. They were looking up Tom Holland Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, which didn't get associated with a specific movie. Anyway, tangent over. So if Ultron winds up coming back, what's the end goal with that? I believe if Ultron comes back in this, it won't be to tease like a full-blown Ultron return quite yet, which is something that I hope they do in the future. I just can't help but notice that WandaVision just keeps reminding you about Ultron over and over and over. I think ever since episode 3, Ultron has been mentioned at least once in every episode, which is actually something that is pretty unique about Ultron because he's one of the very few villains that actually get referenced past their movie. Most movies, once the villain's defeated, they're done. They don't get talked about ever again. Hela and Inigo get mentioned briefly, but not even by name in Infinity War. Thanos did get mentioned in WandaVision, but this is like 3 weeks after Endgame, so it's kind of reasonable to understand why they're talking about him still. But like the only major villains I can think of that they keep talking about are Loki, who always comes back, and Ultron. After Ultron was defeated, he was still referenced by name in Captain America Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Infinity War, and you saw a severed head in Spider-Man Homecoming. And it had the red eyes, which usually indicates that that's the body that Prime Ultron is taking control of at the moment. And I know not everyone counts this as complete canon, but Ultron was also mentioned by name in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And also a really cool thing, I don't know if it's still there because I haven't been there in a while, but at Disneyland, more specifically California Adventure, in the line queue for the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout ride, you go through the collector's collection, and you can actually see an Ultron Sentry in there. And the Mission Breakout ride is kind of trying to tie itself to the movies, like it has all the actors from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. During one of the segments, you can see a ghost of Yondu walking past the security footage. So it's kind of interesting that it implies that an Ultron drone got its way into space. I don't know, maybe they'll use that someday. And also, a while ago, there was an Avengers VR experience called Damage Control, which was about the return of Ultron. I just kind of get this feeling that Marvel does not want you to forget about Ultron because I think they're teasing that he will come back someday. And that someday may be later tonight. Okay, that's enough about Ultron. Let's move on to the next theory. Okay, wait, hang on. I looked at my notes and saw there was a little bit more on Ultron, so bear with me. This is more or less what I think is going to happen at the end of the episode. So keep in mind, White Vision is Ultron, Westview Vision is more or less Vision, not fully Vision, but, you know, whatever. They will come together and they will fight. Then at some point, Wanda will figure out how to transfer Westview Vision's consciousness into Ultron Vision. This will allow Westview Vision to take over Ultron Vision and basically become Vision once again completely. Like regain all of his memories and all that. And then they will work together to take down Agatha Harkness and also the other big bad who I suspect will be in there. And also Hayward and, you know, bad guys at S.W.O.R.D. Monica will take over S.W.O.R.D. It'll be awesome. So at the end of the day, when the fighting's all done, Vision will confront Wanda. And he's not gonna be too happy. Wanda basically did what he did not want her to do. She brought him back to life in some weird way. And on top of that, S.W.O.R.D. has been trying to use his body for nefarious purposes, which again, he did not want. So I think Vision might just be done with Earth and possibly meet up with the Guardians of the Galaxy or something completely different. Maybe in Nova, I don't know. But the point is, I don't think he's going to stay on Earth. This is mainly because in the beginning of Spider-Man Far From Home, during that whole In Memoriam thing, they still have Vision there. Which, keep in mind, Far From Home takes place about 8 months after Endgame, while WandaVision takes place about 3 weeks after Endgame and has been spanning about a week. So that means that the public still thinks that Vision is dead. He might not be on Earth anymore if he's still alive at the end of this. Which also kind of begs the question, is Cap dead? Or does everyone just think he's dead and he's just kind of living out the rest of his days as Old Man Cap? I guess we'll have to wait 2 weeks for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier to find out about that one. Okay, now we're done with the Ultron theory. I'm sorry. Okay, theory number 2, and I know all of you have heard about this. It's been all over the internet, thanks to Eric Voss and a couple other people. Mephisto. I know, people are sick and tired of hearing about Mephisto, but it just makes sense. Agatha talks about her anniversary with her husband Ralph being June 2nd, which, in case you don't know, is the date that the Salem witch trials started. And as we know from the start of episode 8, Agatha is a legit witch. The thing is, the real-life Salem witch trials actually started in 1692, while Agatha's witch trial was in 1693, a whole year after they started. But it's also an important question to ask, why were the other witches giving Agatha her trial? Was it because she broke witch code? If witch code is even a thing. Did she break witch code by delving into more devious things? Devious things that could have led her to being caught by normal people and burned at the stake at the beginning of the real-life Salem witch trials? Which would have had her go to the bad afterlife to meet Mephisto, which is Marvel's version of the devil, which would tie together the whole thing of her anniversary being June 2nd, which again was the starting date of the real-life Salem witch trials. So my addition to this theory, at least I don't think I've heard this anywhere before, so sorry if this is accidentally copying someone. I just want to get that out of the way because I know this is a popular theory and I know a lot of people are trying to put these pieces together, so I'm not entirely sure if anybody's put these pieces in this exact order that I am. Anyway, the idea is that Agatha met Mephisto on June 2nd, 1692, and that's when he became her husband that she keeps referring to as Ralph. Yet we never see him. Pair all of this with the fact that in the comics, Scarlet Witch's kids had to do with Mephisto's soul in some weird way. comics are weird. That and the fact that earlier on in the show when someone said the devil's in the details, Agnes responded with, that's not the only place he's in. Which I take that as implying that she not only knows the devil, she knows him personally. So the biggest question I've been seeing is why Mephisto though? Why bring Mephisto into the last episode when we've already set up Agatha as the potential big bad? Personally, I think it has something to do with Agatha's motives. All we know is that Agatha wants to know how Wanda created Westview. She wants to know how Wanda was able to control everyone all this time. She wants to know how Wanda was able to bring people back from the dead. But we don't really know why. My theory is that she wants to learn how Wanda did this because she wants to know how to create a new form for her husband to enter into this plane of reality. Or possibly, she already brought him to this plane of reality, but doesn't know how to give him a better form than a rabbit. Yeah, that rabbit, Senor Scratchy, or Old Scratch. Yeah, I know people have pointed that out before. Old Scratch is another nickname for the devil. Senor Scratchy is like Mr. Scratchy, Mr. Scratch. Mephisto could be the bunny, I know, but it also could be referring to Agatha's son in the comics who was called Nicholas Scratch, or it could just be an Easter egg alluding to both of them, and the rabbit is just a weird rabbit that eats things that aren't just plants. That rabbit is creepy. But again, I just can't shake the feeling that Agatha wants to bring someone else into this world. And when she sensed all the power that Wanda emitted when creating the hex over Westview, it drew her to there. And what made her stay is seeing all this crazy stuff that Wanda was able to create with her magic, and she wants to know how to do that herself, which is why she sent fake Pietro to go talk to her, to try and gain her trust, to try and ask her how she did all this. Only that didn't work, because she didn't have Pietro with the right face. And I know everyone thinks that this Pietro is straight ripped from the X-Men franchise, which I think it's still possible. I just really hope that it's not him. Mainly because I pay so much attention to the continuity and the timeline of the MCU that adding in the Fox X-Men movies into this would just throw everything off so bad, because those movies' timeline is just, it's a mess. It is a huge mess. Like, if you don't know how messy it is, just look up some articles on it. If you try and make sense of it, it just doesn't work. So no, I don't want a character directly from those movies to be brought into the MCU, because it means that all those movies, like everything that happened in those movies, happened for this character, which would kind of tangentially make those movies MCU canon, which doesn't work because, again, it's all messed up. I'm getting into this. Yeah, sorry about that side tangent that went on for too long. So again, I think that at most, Mephisto will get mentioned, if not get revealed. And yes, I know people are really tired of this whole Mephisto theory, mainly because it keeps getting spread around by Eric Voss, and people keep thinking that it's going to happen and getting really hyped for it when it might not happen, and it's just kind of dominating the whole theory circle of WandaVision. Is that even a good term for it? Oh my gosh, so this is me coming in at the end of editing the video, realizing that I forgot to talk about probably what is my most original theory in this whole video. That's not to say that the whole rest of this video was stolen, but I mean, I was working off of ideas that other people have put out there, and I've come to those conclusions myself too, but it's not, like, original to the internet. Anyway, this is how I think Hayward got his hands on Vision's body. So what would have happened to Vision's body after Infinity War? Well, I would imagine that there would be some Wakandans that would think that they could have claim to Vision's body, since he is mostly made of vibranium. Stolen vibranium at that. But at the same time, with all the chaos of the snap, I don't know if they'd really try and keep the Avengers from taking their fallen comrade with them when they go back home. Especially if Okoye is in charge. I mean, she knows that T'Challa would trust these people, and so therefore she would trust them, and probably have compassion for them. So then, if the Avengers were to take Vision's body back home, how did Hayward get it? How did Hayward even know that he died? Well, considering the fact that in WandaVision, Darcy is able to talk about in extreme detail how Vision died twice. I think it's because the Avengers gave a debriefing to SWORD, or maybe some other kind of government facility or whatever, and then Hayward got that information from them, or just directly from the Avengers, and knows that Vision is dead. And Hayward wants Vision for weapons. Also think back, at the time, Maria Rambeau would have been the head of SWORD. But also, she was in the hospital at the time of the snap, and since she lost Monica in the snap, I don't think she'd be going right back into work, like, for a while, leaving Hayward the standing director of SWORD. So, Hayward goes up to the Avengers, and realizing that both Captain America and Black Widow technically are still fugitives. The Sokovia Accords are still in place, so maybe it came to the Avengers with some kind of bargaining tool. You give me Vision, and I will expunge your record. You will be able to walk free, you won't be hunted down. You just need to give me Vision's body so we can research it and study it. Tony would probably be the one to most likely reject this offer, but he was in space for like 3 weeks. So Steve and Natasha, being tired of running and amidst all the chaos of half the world disappearing, I think they might take that deal. So anyway, that's how I think Hayward got a hold of Vision's body. What do you think of that? So anyway, those are my biggest last minute thoughts for WandaVision. What do y'all think? Do you have any more out there theories or just random things that you think are going to happen? Let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe. And before I close out completely, I want to let you all know that I'm going to be doing something pretty cool later today. Starting 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time on my TikTok, I'm going to be doing a live stream watch along of WandaVision Season 1. Now keep in mind, I won't actually be able to stream the episodes to you through my TikTok because I'm pretty sure I can get taken down for that and like banned. I don't want to risk that. So what's going to happen is that every episode is going to start at a specific time. Everyone will have to start up Disney Plus on their own, like whether it be on the computer or their TV or whatever, and we'll all queue it up to start at the same time. So when I count down on the live stream, 3, 2, 1, play, everyone should press play at the same time. And it'll basically be treated as a watch-along kind of chat room where you can talk to other people who are watching at the same time in the TikTok feed. You can talk to me, ask me questions. We can kind of hopefully make more last-minute theories while we're rewatching the entire season. It should be a lot of fun. And also, we're not going to be starting the first episode at exactly 7 o'clock just because I want to be able to give people time to jump into the live stream and get settled in. And each episode will not be starting as the last one ends because I do want to give people time to get up, go use the bathroom, get snacks, do whatever they need to do. So there's going to be about 10 minutes in between each episode. And it will all be leading up to the premiere of the finale at 1 o'clock in the morning Mountain Standard Time. That's midnight Pacific Standard Time. And if you're not in America, then I have no clue. Google's free. Go ahead and figure out the time conversion for yourself. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more content from me, you can again check out my TikTok page. I post there daily, sometimes several times a day, depending on how creative I'm feeling. You can check me out on Twitter and Instagram. I don't do as much on there, but I want to start doing more there, so there's that. I think that's it. So yeah, thanks for watching.